What's this Brianna Wu stuff going on in the farm right now? Dude. Sunday says, I'm having a thought here, Brianna. You give me $15,000, a bargain, and I'll never tweet or stream about you again. It's Brianna in Wix Discord, I assume this is. Man, I am so tempted to sue Sunday for libel. I know his name, employer, etc. There is no reason not to. This is just a lie. I could just write someone a check today for 20k and walk away. Tempted. Walk away, woo. Sunday trying to get a payday. Looks like there's been a bunch of other stuff going on with Brianna Wu. I haven't been following it. It's all a bunch of retarded trans drama. It's like some even uglier trans called Brianna Wu ugly. So they've been going backwards and forwards, calling each other ugly or something. I don't know. It just shit that, you know, normal, busy political activists get involved in. You know, just that kind of thing. Busy, rich political activists, educated political activists. They're just making a difference in the world. They're often dragged down into petty squabbles on Twitter where they're calling some other transgender. Sorry, not some other transgender. We don't know that Brianna's transgender. She's never come out. But calling some transgender ugly. Even worse, just calling a transgender ugly. You don't even have the in-group, like, pass. Because you're not out as transgender. So you don't even get the pass here. You're just attacking an ugly trans person. That's what I'm saying. So what is it? Can someone... Raylan. Can someone TLDR this Brianna Wu Twitter drama for me? What's been going on the last, like, day or two? I tried reading through it. I see it's being dubbed the mail fraud scandal right now. Okay. Operation Mail Fraud. Let's go. That's MAIL. It's a joke about the election. It's a joke about it's an election joke. I'm just bit. What's this? I see. Why is SFO getting involved? Take that tweet I just put in the farm. I'm struggling with this. I don't. This is too trans even for me. Brianna was saying, there's a trans woman that made a viral tweet where she can't engage with my point, so she's attacking my age. Cassie, you might define your worth as a woman by attempting to look like a cheap sex doll despite being in your 30s. I don't. I'm a normal 46-year-old woman. I literally think about looking professional. I think I mostly succeed. As to why I spend time with younger people, I don't have kids. One of the ways I try to nurture the mothering parts of myself is being a friend, a mentor, and using 3 decades of professional connections to open the door for women coming up behind me. You like mentoring young women. Okay, cool. Sargon called Metka a groomer for this. For what? What did Sargon call Metka a groomer? Oh, for talking to young guys in his Discord or something. Oh. Like, phrased it exactly like that. Well, I mean... Okay. Was the Applebee suit... I thought the Applebee suit jokes would have been... I would have assumed it was after that. I don't know. I didn't think Metka really fucked around on Discord very long. What do you mean by young boys? Well, all Sargon was said. I think I vaguely remember it. All I remember it being was... it was just... Metka like everyone in the 2010s, was probably on TeamSpeak servers or Discords or Skype groups or whatever, probably with fans, where they were fucking around and like trolling people, making videos and shit, I imagine. And then Sargon called him a groomer because I mean it is grooming in in like a sense of the word, right? Like what Brianna we're describing here is grooming, technically, in one sense of the word. Right? I mean that's the joke I was just making. Was the different ways that it can be interpreted. Because I mean, are those retards on Skype going to end up being internet trolls who make fucking videos about autistic people 2 days away from killing themselves? Unless they end up in those Skype groups and Discord chats? Like, probably not. It's only because of the influence that they've gone that way, right? They become flamenco. Yeah, exactly. Except flamenco wasn't groomed. Well, I mean, he kind of was. I mean, no, because no. Because you can say like grooming a protege or something like that, right? People say. Yeah, grooming is just preparing for it. It's not like it doesn't mean manipulation. I don't think manipulation's baked in there. I mean, flamenco is kind of groomed because he's like a turbo autistic, right? Didn't he have a girlfriend way older than him? What, flamenco? I personally do think it's baked into sexual grooming. Probably in the way we usually use it. Yeah. But I don't think it's. I don't think. I think you could imagine a context possibly where it wouldn't be, right? I don't know. Like, let's say it's for everyone's an adult, full adults, totally consensual porn star contract, and then they're being groomed into a role, you know? That could be one where it's not. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here. I'm gonna be honest. I saw people going after Brianna Wu for retweeting, what was it? Blair White and the Post Millennial, right? I just saw some retarded erudite tweets about it. In the past month, Brianna has praised the Daily Wire, had non-oppositional interactions with Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, and Lauren Chen, retweeted far-right outlets, and focused her rhetoric on the need to compromise with Republicans. This isn't purity testing. She's a conservative. So I probably wouldn't agree with the assessment that she's a conservative. I think she's a grifter. So Erudite says, she's also, 1, consistently advocated for trans rights. Okay, well, kind of. It depends on who you see as trans, right? She's not cool with the NB xeno pronoun stuff. A lot of these people think that's part of trans, so they don't agree with you on that. So just asserting that, it's not quite gonna do it, is it? Asks people to vote for Biden. None of these people care about that. 3, supports a ceasefire. Yeah, that none of these people want a ceasefire. Disagrees with Blair on everything. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. That's just a total lie. That's just a blatant lie. Just isn't willing to dehumanize her. Yeah, that's just this. Number 4 is just erudite lying. That is just a straight up lie. Brianna Wu is basically like, no hate. I'm probably even worse. But Brianna Wu is trans mad. Blair White is also trans mad. And it's not just that she isn't willing to dehumanize her. That's not what it's about. Imagine my shock, Erudite lying to Sweep for Woo. Asked for compromises on left-leaning issues. These people, they don't want compromises on the issues that Brianna Wu wants to compromise on. I'm not sure when left became a hatred cult. Well, they fundamentally disagree with you on a lot of these things. It's not even about being a hatred cult. These types of lefties have always existed. I don't know where Erudite has been. I don't know what she was doing in college. I don't know if she's ever looked at any coverage, any like documentary about any historical social issue. There's always been some group of like fucking commies that are just anti-America, all on that side of it all the time. Like for the last 60 years. It's always been that. There's always a group of people that are like that. During the left became a hatred cult. There's the same group of people on the right. Like there is short a quote unquote hatred cult, but that is on like it is literally a both sides thing. It's just like this. The left. Like, what do you mean the left? What are you on about? It's such a retarded tweet. It's not even that many people shitting on Brianna, all things considered. You're trying to get into national politics, and you're mad that any 43. You are replying to any 43. This is the NB weirdo who was sitting there saying how based and epic it was that Keffals went up to Melina and threatened to get her banned at TwitchCon. This is Vosh's Reddit, Janny. You're arguing with Vosh's Reddit, Janny. It's pathetic. And you act like this is the left. The left. Because you're arguing with... Because Vosh's Reddit, Janny, is being mean to your friend on Twitter. That the left is a hatred cult. It's the biggest victim mentality. Like, we're the center of the fucking world because people don't like us. Like, people just don't fuck with you. Just go do your thing. Just go do your... Stop trying to change people's minds about the fact they don't like you. Go do your fucking thing. But no, she's going to keep getting bogged down arguing with fucking Reddit Jannies in Twitter replies. DGG is very famously an outwardly loving non-cult. Yeah, that's why they have that line where they say, not a cult, DGGL, and it has a little mascot of them holding a heart. It's because the point of that is that it's a sincere expression. It's a sincere expression. Where they're actually saying, they're just randomly saying, they just like reaffirming the fact that they're not a cult and that they love everyone. That's the joke there, obviously. Thanks, Erudite. There's no world that you look at Brianna and think she's right-leaning. I get that you feel she's being too warm with conservatives, but that doesn't make her a conservative. Your inability to even recognize your opposition is human, or that sometimes they make valid points, is fanatical brain rot. I mean, yes. Sure. Agreed. But Brianna started very left-wing, very against, in opposition to where a lot of these people not necessarily got their start directly, but Gamergate, in terms of the online culture, was very like it was like the birth of sort of like online conservative media as it is now. And Brianna was the opposition to that process and made her name being the opposition to that process. And now she is saying, listen, Timple, I think we can meet in the middle. Listen, Timple, I know you want civil war, Timple, but we can meet in the middle. Listen, Lauren Chen, I know you think that blacks are in you know what I mean? Yeah, and literally all she does now is scold the left wing and glaze Israel. That's all she does. That is all she talks about. How are people meant to read you? Like, I don't even... In many cases, I do think this whole, you're a conservative shit is retarded. But what does she talk about? What do I hear her talk about other than how bad the left is? and how great Israel is, and how much she hates other trans people. And I say this as someone who's pro-Israel. But she is like, she fetishizes it. She thinks she's in the IDF. She thinks when she's posted on Twitter, that feels like she's doming Hamas insurgents. That is how she thinks about it. Yeah, I just don't know, man. This is just absolute gun guarding. Hi, so lying to defend her, and then just like spurring it. How could you possibly see her this way? How could you see my friend this way? But she literally calls into Wick's stream every week. Plutarch, she also grew up in the South. Did you? She's also really she loves her motorbikes and cars. She fixed up an old car. She made a video game too, if you didn't know. She was on the brink of making holodeck technology. It was cybersecurity engineer. You know how it goes. You know how it do. She loves her husband Frank as well. Yo, me and my husband Frank. Oh man. What? Apparently this is all in the farm now. Okay, right. Let's try and figure out what's been going on in this drama. So this is the Cassie individual. This is some crazy transgender on Twitter. Some wacky transgender on Twitter. Who's been saying some stuff about Brianna Wu, I think. So let's read. Brianna Wu, oh yeah, makes a lot more sense when you realize she's just mad that increasing trans visibility means she can't pass anymore. Ooh. She got turned back into a brick by the social context. Of course she wants to turn back the clock in both senses of the term. I see one of the mean girls of trans activism is going after me. New bio? Oh, no. Trust me, Deep, I'm not going to repeat your message there because I worry it'll be used against me because of the phrasing. However, can you give us a TLDR? Love it when people post pictures of me from Gamergate to dunk on my looks. Oh, wait. Where's this tweet? Yeah, so, you know this Cassie person got under Wu's skin bad, okay? Because she tweets this. Love it when people post pictures of me from Gamergate to dunk on my looks. I was a software engineer back then. I did not know anything about makeup, hair, skincare, or anything. This is what I look like today. If you want to dunk on me, make fun of what I actually look like. Let's pull up VATs on this MF. Holy. Yeah. That soft filter is at max on that pic. It's, look, don't. Okay. A leading light among the ATH, AGP to HSTS transitioner community. Thank you for the gifted, Molly's boy. So this is saying that Brianna Wu has gone from straight to homosexual, I believe. Okay. Epic. Neo Pussy Boy at Forced Mask. That is an interesting Twitter, isn't it? What's going wrong here? Okay, here we go. So yeah, we already read the one about Cassie being a cheap sex doll and Brianna saying she's a mentor to young women. Girl, no one attacked your age. I simply pointed out that you can't envision trans liberation. You can't envision acceptance. This is like, sorry, this sucks. Okay, I'm starting to, this tweet is making me not care now. The dingy little cubicle of your imagination is barely large enough to contain the hope for a world where we're invisible. You're not old, you're weak. Okay, I don't care. Or to put it in meme format, you can't even... Okay. Cringe. Brianna Wu loves to act like she's not an obsequious slime ball. Just a pragmatist who wants to win. Well, let's check on those credentials for her political acumen then. How did it go when Brianna put her theory of politics to test? Did she win? And then it's her in the damn primary losing. I don't know. I don't know. Is there any evidence that Brianna Wu is involved in any shota? I know she certainly hangs out with a lot of people who seem to like that sort of thing, but I think she is. Cassie, first of all, like Blair White, I don't agree with you on things politically, but that doesn't mean you're not my sister. This is wretched. It's like, it's bad enough when like you see like, you know, wannabe sort of like grifter black activist hotep types do like the brother and sister shit on Twitter. Where it's like they're like the most middle class, like educated. Like that's a little bit cringe as it is. Saying like obviously a cis woman say to a trans woman, my sister, on Twitter when talking about trans activism. That's just rancid. I know Jim responded to Lex. I know Jim responded to Lex Updog. I've seen. I will be talking about it soon. I would drastically prefer to interact with you with respect. It's not that I don't have a vision of trans liberation. It's that I have a different vision of how we get to trans liberation. It has been progress since 1952, with Christine Jorgensen and a shocking slide backwards in the last 10 years. Redefining trans from a non-partisan medical issue to a left-wing identity issue has been terrible. In my view, your playbook is taking us to total destruction. You may not agree, but it is my genuine opinion. Okay, but these people do. They fundamentally disagree with that. They do not believe that is what trans is. They do not believe that trans is a medical issue. They believe it is an identity. You know, so I'm not sure where she's been that, you know, homosexuals and men wearing dresses and trans people and all this sort of shit hasn't always been like the on the left, like, well, at least in the modern idea of what left and right wing is, always been on that side. I just they literally just don't think that, like, they're asking them to totally. I feel like this one, Brianna just wants to go like, look, I know we disagree. I understand we disagree, but can't you see that we all want the same thing, really? It's like they want totally different things. They want totally different things. You want medical care for an illness. These other people, or for what you perceive to be an illness, these other people, they don't want that. They want like totally full blown free reign to any and all body modification, like transhumanist shit. Basically, that's what they want. They want to be able to become like footers because they like that porn. That's the sort of shit they want to do. That's the sort of shit they advocate for. It's about identity. It's about some like lefty idea of self-actualization. That's what it's about. You are talking about redressing a medical issue. You have a fundamental disagreement here. You are not trans activists in the same way. You are not fighting for the same cause. You can't be, because you have a fundamental disagreement. Who doesn't support a ceasefire? Does she not? I assume we would support a ceasefire. Well, I trusted Erudite on it, rather. But none of these people support a ceasefire, do they? They want free Palestine. They want death to the other one. That's what they want. Brianna's entire political theory is that everybody actually agrees on every issue. They just need to pay her to have conversations about them. Yep. It's not about, like, here's the thing, right? The whole coming together message. I thought the point of that is to say, look, at the end of the day, there's one option in this election that is probably going to be drastically better than the other for most people. So regardless of disagreements on these issues, just vote that way. But that you can't just use that as a cudgel to make people be friends with you and make people not disagree with you. Make people not think you're a bad person for having beliefs that they feel infringe on some concept they've got of, like, their fundamental rights as a person. So dumb. It's just absolutely. It's just. It's like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, it's like some kind of manipulation. It's like, but can't you just shut up? Can't you just shut up and let me be here? Can't you just shut up and let me grift from the people that are around you? Can't you just stop talking about how much you disagree with me on fundamental beliefs? I think if people want to lecture minorities on why they should give up their hopes for liberation in order to win incremental gains, they should be able to do better than distant second in a state house race. Have a little humility before telling us what it takes to win. Trans women are obviously biologically, but you don't have to be a dick about it. Have some self-respect. Jesus Christ. I mean, I can't agree there. Like, this is like a black person saying to another black person, listen, I understand we're disproportionately criminals, but you don't have to start pressing me and getting violent. Like, it's like that. That's what's going on here. Like, what are you doing? Brianna, respectfully, how can I be your sister when you can't even bring yourself to say clearly and publicly that you're trans? Oh. You can't disavow transness as identity, as a political community, and then turn around and claim sisterhood. Whose side are you on? If you want a respectful dialogue as sisters, then you have to start with respecting yourself and trans people enough to admit that we are a community of shared political interests and you're in it with us. Until then, I can only offer disdain. Sorry. I mean, there's some truth to this, I feel like. No, you want to play both sides of like, not saying whether you're trans or not, but then you expect to be accepted into the trans community as trans. That, I mean, there's some truth there, no? I feel like. I've never said this before, and I never will again, but Cassie won. Well, I think that's it. I think that's all those tweets. Last one in the farm. I think there's a reason trans people have been attacking you more than Republicans, and it says more about you than it does about them. You're responsible for your own abuse. Where have I heard this before? Oh yeah, Gamergate. You're exactly as unhinged as they were. Take us home, Brianna. Trump's gonna tweet Gamergate. Yeah. For when pushing to college fullback to Gamergate. You know, I'm a Gamergate veteran. Don't you know? Don't you know? I survived Gamergate. Don't you know? Also, I love this. I love this. I love this so much. She was on Twitter the other night. Not Twitter the other night. On Wix panel the other night. Saying all about. I just released a video on this, by the way, today. You can go watch it after the stream. After the stream, guys. There's a video on my channel. Like, going over the panel today. Also remember to like, subscribe, down it by my shoe. Okay. She was on Wix panel the other night saying how she doesn't want people banned. She doesn't think it's harassment to be mean online. She thinks it's all about doxing and death threats and that sort of stuff. Now, someone says to her, I think there's a reason trans people have been attacking you more than Republicans. And it says more about you than it does about them. And her response is, where have I heard this before? Oh yeah, Gamergate. You're exactly as unhinged as they were. So is this harassment then, Brianna? Is that what you're saying? This is a harassment campaign. Is that the claim right now, Brianna? Is that these lefties are doing a harassment? Because I don't understand what they're doing that falls outside the bounds of reasonable behavior. They're just trash talking you on Twitter, from all that I can see. Who were the Gamergate people? Like Skeptics and Thunderfoot? Yeah, kind of. There were a bunch of people that sprung up. Metica, Sargon, Ethan Ralph. Those are big ones. Mundane Matt. Milo. I'm trying to think. Was Quartering in Gamergate or was he later? No, Quartering wasn't in Gamergate. The Quartering came about because of the Magic the Gathering controversy. I thought. Warski, yep. Warski was a Gamergater, yep. Do you like Thunderfoot? I used to watch him, but I haven't watched a video of his in years. Oh yeah, Bearing and Tilde, yep. SFO, yep. Sitch, obviously as well. Cernovich. Oh yeah, V. Fucking V Monroe, dude.